Sessions.
Hey guys, Skill Sessions here. It finally took a very important topic to bring me out of my slumber to make a new video, and that's the upcoming hockey series between the Leafs and the Bruins. Well, if you follow hockey, you probably know that the Bruins have pretty much owned the Leafs in recent playoff history. All the way back to 2013, that heartbreaker where the Leafs were up by, I think, 3 goals in the last period, and they came back and tied it and went in overtime, and in a heartbreaker, the Bruins won that series. And then also last year, when the team was much better and totally transformed, 2018, they took a 1-goal lead right into the third period, and Bruins prevailed there. And also this upcoming series this Thursday, the Leafs are kind of like the underdogs because they closed out the season the last 2 months doing very poorly, almost like a 500 team, and the Bruins have been rock steady pretty much from January, I guess. So things are not looking good, and a lot of people are saying Boston's gonna sweep, and Boston in 5 or Boston in 6 at most, and nobody's having a lot of faith in the Leafs. But I think it's pretty laughable, because you look on paper and the Leafs have come a long way. Ever since their rebuild a few years ago, they got Babcock as the head coach. Expectations weren't that high, but in the span of 2-3 years, they changed from a basement dweller to pretty much a contender. Not really one of the top contenders like Tampa or some other teams, but they're up there, they're a top team. So when people are looking at this series and saying, oh yeah, Boston's gonna manhandle them, I don't see it. On paper, what does Boston have? Rask as the goalie is not doing that well, and they have one awesome line, but who do they have after that? They're not that amazing, and they, people are making it sound like they're invincible. Yeah, they have great playoff experience, they're a hardened core, but the Leafs are up and coming, and they have the talent. They took them to 7 last year, and they didn't have a few key pieces, which they have this year. John Tavares, best free agent signing of the season, right? And they also got Muzzin from LA. So they're a lot deeper this year, and I don't see, the Boston Bruins sweeping the Leafs or manhandling, or doing anything like that. Babcock has been known to be a little bit more old school, but I hope he really reviews what Boston's capable of and makes adjustments, because on paper, they really should be able to beat Boston. Skill-wise, they're better, at least offensively, for sure. In goal, Anderson should be better than Rask. I myself would think that the Leafs will be in 6, if I have to make a bet. I'm just being very optimistic, and I'm not being a naysayer, and I'm not being one of those doomsayers and saying that, oh, Boston for sure. I have faith in the Leafs, and I think they'll pull it out this year. This got to be a turning point, because ever since from 2013, which is quite laughable, Boston Bruins fans have been laughing about that, but that is a series that Boston should have handily won. Who cares that the Leafs took a lead in the third period and then Boston came up from nowhere? Who cares? Because they're supposed to win anyway. So they gave them quite a scare, and they just happened to, have the result that was totally expected. So I don't know why people are laughing about that. It's hilarious. They shouldn't even be in that position in the first place. And go back to last year. Yeah, it would have been great that they won, but they're a totally new team. All these stars on the Leafs are basically totally almost like rookies, right? Marner, Matthews, Nylander, they're all pretty much green. So, they just had their first taste of playoff hockey, and this year they will definitely be a lot better. So I see a lot of good things, the Leafs, in this year and in the coming years. So I definitely have faith in them, and I think Boston is on a downward trajectory. Their glory days are way behind them. And their style is pretty predictable. They try to manhandle people, try to intimidate, do some really stupid, annoying, and just aggravating tactic. They have the rat, so what do you expect from their fans? If Leafs remain disciplined and stick to their battle plan, they should be able to beat the Bruins. So you heard it from me, Leafs in 6. Let's see what happens coming Thursday. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's my prediction, Leafs in 6. If you have any comments, if you disagree, if you think something different is going to happen, leave your comments below. Skill Sessions out.
Share, like, comment, and subscribe, because Skill Sessions has the skills to satisfy.